blue, which is your ultramarine blue, and some magenta, and then I allow the colors to flow into each other. So what I can suggest to you is, you see two colors which are complementary to each other. Okay, so you take magenta and purple, opposite side of the color, which are complementing each other, the opposite side. Maybe you can take a purple and a green, or a yellow and a blue. Don't go with things of the same side, because that will just, it won't give you the contrast. So you go across your color wheel, so you have things which are contrasting, and that gives you vibrancy. Say you want to make a bookmark, okay, with these kind of shapes, it's always nice to have some vibrancy into it. So I would suggest go across, crisscross, find colors of your choice, take two colors and mix them on your palette, take them on your palette. So if I were to do, say I'll do a what do I do, I'll do a blue and a yellow this time. I did purple and pink, so I'll do yellow and blue. I'll do a ultramarine blue and a bright yellow this time. Okay, or a cobalt blue. I think I have some cobalt blue on my palette. So what I will do is, I will mix a lot of this, because I need to make, I'll mix this on one side and yellow on I already have some yellow. I'm not going to remove it, I'm just going to keep it still there. I'll just mix this, put a lot of water, and I'll show you what we will achieve from this. Let's mix some, okay, good amount of blue here, so it is enough for our whole activity. Clean your brush, dunk it in. I have some yellow here, but I don't think I'll use this yellow only. I think it is lemon yellow. I'll add more water. I'll add more water and just dilute this yellow. So I have a yellow and a blue mix. Okay. And I'm going to use one of these squares that I have. Can you guys see it? Yes. So what we are going to do in this activity is more like a, it's like a stencil, you can say. So what I think this is paper, it might soak it in, but it's okay. So I'm going to rub yellow on one side, okay, and I'll take some blue and put it on the other side, because I already have yellow on my, and I'm just going to stamp it. Okay, I do some blue, more blue here, and just do some overlap stamps, random stamps till the color runs out. So now what I'm going to do, while it's still wet, I'm going to get a clean brush loaded with water, and I'm going to move the water around with just touching the paint. Okay, so that if you see, the color is spreading, and I'll leave some white spaces to show like it's a bubble. Because your water might dry out quickly, paint might dry out quickly, you can do couple of bubbles and then move it around. But if you see here, when wet on, so different techniques, right? You see it is dried already, so even when you try to move it around, there is no colors moving because it's already dried. So if you had wet paper, then it will all be blotchy all over. So I'm not going to do a wash this time, if you took note of it. So I'm just doing like this, just moving this colors around. So I have some hard lines here because this is wet on dry, and there is, it's like totally dried up. See, so what can I do to activate it? I need to go back, scrub it with water, and take some more paint on my circle and paint, put it over it. So I go back to my blue, I'll just take some blue this time, and I'll try and place it over that area, and then I'll quickly go over with my brush to move the color around. And take yellow, whatever colors you're doing, put it on your stencil or a stamp that you're having, and push it around till you achieve the pattern you want to. I'll take some more blue. So it's just a play of colors. We'll see how it is mixing and matching. When there's more water, if you see, if you want to lift, if you think there's too much water on your palette, what you do, take your towel and just place it at the edge of the water. It will absorb it. Yeah, it's like a sponge. It will just absorb it. Okay, if you think there's too much water on your paper, you can just dab it off and then go around with another set of color. If you think you want to just move the color around, you can take the color directly from the palette also and then just move it around. Just drop it also. You can just drop it because wet on wet, you just have to drop it. You'll allow the colors to merge and do its own. See, I'm doing now wet on wet. See, you want to soften the edges, just run the brush slowly. I'll go back. I'll take more of yellow on one side, put a bit of blue. You know, red, blue and yellow is giving green, so you have some colors coming up. I want only blue coming. Giving the white spaces to show that area of no color. A lot of blue. Now I'll take some yellow from the palette and move it around. It's okay, you can allow the colors to flow into each other. That's the beauty of watercolor, I would say. Allowing the colors to merge and mingle, creating its own textures and patterns. This form of repetitive shapes, right, and the way you focus on the colors, it's good, like a form of meditation. If your paint is on the stamp is drying up, you need to add more water to it so that it will hold value. And don't do multiple stamps, just do one stamp. For example, let me show you. So I have this. I just took water and I put, it should look, there is water on all over it, should be glistening. Okay, it should glisten with the water, and then you can go to the same place where you had done previously, and then you just, from clean brush, you can just pull the water. Just make sure you have enough paint on your surface so that it can make a stamp, and then you move quickly to move the colors around. If you have too much water on your brush, it might blot a lot. So if you think there is excess water on your brush, you can just blot it on your towel and then move it around. So these are all very light layers. So once this is dried up, what you can do is you can do another layer of dark color to increase the vibrancy. So this is a form of, like we did the washing, no? One light layer, darker, darkest layer. As you build layers over the same color, it will become more and more dark. If I go back here and do a darker, I'm not waiting to dry, so it's blotching, but if I wait it to dry, it will be more, to become more sharp, the edges. We already reached to our mark. If you guys want to drop off, it's okay. Basically, you can go back and forth doing this till you finish your pattern, or allow it to dry, come back and do another layer of darker tone to see how that works. If I go back to the blues with one layer with my brush, you will see that it is going to be more dark. And there are hard edges. Go back and forth with a clean brush. You can remove these hard edges as well if you don't want them. If you add a different shade on top, it will also dry with that pattern. Say this is your first layer, what you can do is separately you can keep adding another layer on it once this is dried, because if you add wet on wet, now everything will get blotchy. You allow this to dry and you go with another round of these same shades you have chosen, so that you can see how it goes. How is it going with all of you? Good, Maria. Rest of you, how are you doing? So if we had a hair dryer at this point, you can just dry your layer so it, you can work quickly on to the next one. But if you're air drying it, you'll have to allow it to take its own time. And once you have finished this, I would suggest go again with another round of color with the same tones. So it will be like this. You'll get a darker, it will dry in a darker tone and value. And once you finish all your bubbles, whatever is your background or remaining negative space as we speak, that you can do in a contrast. I will say do a yellow, orange, just to show you how it looks like. Where it's dried, those areas, I'll show you how it will be filled up. Okay. Don't remove the tape till your paper is completely dried, okay, or it might even tear. And there is a technique or way in which you should remove the tape to avoid even a dried paper from tearing, which is you will, for example, if I'm going to tear, I want to remove, say, this layer, okay, so I have to pull it away from, angle it away from the edge of the paper. You don't do like zip it off. You have to take it off carefully. Say this, I don't know how to show it. Okay. Say I have this taped here, right? It's a long tape. I won't be able to take it out right away. Maybe you guys should just leave it. I'll show you. Okay, on this. Yeah, this I have. So what I'll do is, if it's a washi tape or this, so I will peel it at 45-degree away from the paper, okay, because my surface is a paper, it might come out, but this is how I will peel it off so that my page does not get impacted. You angle it away, it's like you peel it away, okay. Don't yank it or tug it off, because that can cause the paper to get damaged. Okay, and then this side, okay, so you can remove your page carefully without damaging its edges, but if you yank it, no, it might tear off the edges of the paper as well. So this is the color theory I did previously, another session. The current color theory is still not dried for me. I'm not sure for you guys how it is. It's still having some wetness, but now you are able to see the shades a bit better. This is something, if you practice with the colors you have, it will give you more insight on how it looks like, right, when it dries out. Coming back, we will wind up in another 5 minutes. So I would suggest you guys can keep working on this activity, and we will continue next Sunday the same time. Okay, so we will take a nice picture if it's possible. If you guys can send whatever you're finishing onto the email which I had shared previously, I will say put it on the chat also, just your the work that you completed, so I can make a collage and we can see how it came out for all of us. I'll put my email on the chat, so please make sure to complete this. You can continue with your work and this complete this activity. I'll put the email here. Okay, so I think it was a nice session. I hope you guys all benefited from this. Some takeaways, I hope. And I'm hoping to see you guys next week also. I'll just turn on my camera for a bit. Uh, Hi, this is me, Amita. Nice to meet you all. And I'm happy you guys could be here. Behind me is some of the watercolor which I have done previously. And hope to see you guys next week. But do share your work.